Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah Leff, and this is my Capstone Component Two executive summary presentation for Jamie's Floral Delights. What I'm going to be going over today is a business overview, a financial analysis and pricing structure, integrated marketing communication plan, implementation, evaluation, and control plan, and implications for the future and a reflection. The business overview. Jamie's Floral Delights is a floral design business based in St. Louis, Missouri. It is a small business, and the business goals are to reach the right audience at a reasonable cost and increase profitability by year two. And this marketing plan that I have created will meet those goals, and I'm going to explain how it's going to meet those goals. Artifact one is a target market and competitive analysis. Key findings, the target market is 16 to 34-year-olds. This is based on research that I had conducted that found that this is a prime age that people are buying flowers, and this age group is buying flowers for romantic partners. The international market that we should target is Colombia and the Netherlands. And I picked these two international markets based again on research, and it showed that Colombia and the Netherlands are the two highest countries outside of the US that import flowers. Once again, the business goals are to increase profitability by year two and reach the right audience at a reasonable cost. And the product recommendation to meet those goals is flower and plant maintenance. There are a few local competitors within the Kansas City area that Jamie's Floral Delights must keep in mind. And these are Botanical Floral Design, Tobler's Flowers, and Growing Blooms Kansas City or KC. Additionally, there are online and international competitors, including 1-800-Flowers, FTD, and Teleflora. The likelihood of success that the recommended product of flower and plant maintenance will work is that this can help augment sales, and there are no additional labor expenses. And as I've said several times now, it helps increase profitability, which is one of the business goals. And corporate clients specifically really love hiring professionals to do floral maintenance because then this stops them from having to use one of their own employees and mistakes could be made, and it's just not a great situation. So hiring a professional really takes the stress off of the corporate client. So this gives value to customers. And this artifact sets the stage for the other artifacts in the portfolio by giving the needed background information, and it's grounded in research and my marketing expertise that I've learned throughout the program. Artifact 2 is a financial analysis and pricing structure. Now, I'm not going to go into all of the nitty-gritty details because that's a little too statistics heavy, but I am going to go over some of the key findings. So, the projected annual sales are between $200,000 to $362,000. This is found through research on current floral design companies, small businesses specifically, how much they are making in a year. And the high end is due to the location because Kansas City is a very urban city. There is a chance that the projected annual sales can be a lot higher than the 200,000 that typical small businesses make. The floral industry is a great industry to be in right now because the market share is $31 billion to $39 billion dollars, and this is just going to go up as the years progress. A net profit margin is 8% to 20% after all operating expenses are paid. This is something for Jamie to keep in mind for when we're pricing products, which I will talk about in a little bit, that we want to have a good profit margin. And this is also a great way to evaluate the return on investment to see if we're spending more than we're getting out of what we're spending in terms of marketing for our company. There are several market conditions that can impact the future financial projections, and these include tariffs. These are already starting to impact some of the flower companies in Kansas City, as there was one woman that mentioned that she already spent like 50% of her earnings due to tariffs, and she didn't want to increase the prices of her wedding clients or event clients because she had already promised them a rate. So this is already making them impacted. Climate change is also important because this affects the flower production, which in turn affects the supply and demand of the floral industry. And consumers are also wanting more sustainable products. So this is something that Jamie must factor in as well when we are coming up with future product ideas and where we're getting our products from. It's got to be important that we are being sustainable, and mentioning this in our blog post, which I will talk about, is a great idea to do. The pricing strategy that I am recommending is value-based pricing. This is perceived value of a product or service to customer. As I've mentioned, the recommended product to add on of the floral and plant maintenance really does bring value to the customers. So focusing on that will really help the overall profitability. And this artifact relates to the first artifact because I did include some of the previous things mentioned from the first artifact to expand further through analyzing the finances. Artifact 3 is an integrated marketing communication plan. The key points of this, the goals of the communication plan are to increase monthly revenue, increase brand awareness, and retain customers through loyalty programs. The methods of communication that we will be using are social media, website with the blog, flyers, and email marketing. For social media, I found that our target market uses YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram the most, so these are the social media platforms that we'll be utilizing. For the blog on the website, this can cover different topics such as how to maintain your own flowers, talk about our stance on sustainability, things like that that are informative, but also tell people, hey, we're here if you need help with any of this. Flyers are also very effective as, again, we're in Kansas City. It's a very urban environment, and you can put the flyers on billboards, not billboards, but like poles. You can pass them out in stores on like they have some stores have boards that you can put flyers on. You can pass them out to people on the street. There's lots of different ways that this can go about, that this can be implemented. And email marketing. Email marketing is a very viable communication option, as my research had found that 4 out of 5 people actually prefer email marketing. So this is why we included it in the methods of communication. How much is this plan going to cost? That is a great question and one that I spent time analyzing. So Facebook ads average about 44 cents a click. Instagram ads run anywhere between 20 cents to $2 a click. YouTube, 10 cents to 30 cents a view. And I'm recommending that we use Wix because this is the most affordable option for a website. It ranges from $17 to $159 a month, depending on the plan. And MailChimp is probably the most popular email marketing platform, and this ranges from $10 to $200. For a flyer, it's free to create on Canva, but it's $75 for to print 50 flyers or $12.99 for 50 flyers if you print on Vistaprint. That is up to Jamie and the rest of the marketing team to decide what is best after we implement the other parts of our marketing strategy. Measuring success of our integrated marketing plan is crucial. This ensures that it's the right plan, we're using the right platforms, and that we don't need to make any changes. And we will be evaluating it at the 6-month, 12-month, and 18-month mark. Conducting a social media audit is very important. This is a way for us to see which platforms are still being used. And we will also utilize customer surveys to get their take on what campaigns are most effective, what do they like to see when they're scrolling through social media, and provide ways that we can improve on our communication plan. We will also measure specific metrics such as engagement. This can include likes, comments, shares, as well as reposts, and brand sentiment, which is what people are saying about our brand, and analyzing if it's positive or negative and making the appropriate changes as needed. Here I created a sample Facebook page for Jamie's Floral Delights. It is not done yet, but this is what a sample page could look like. That's just a generic logo that I found. Jamie and I would work on creating the logo together so that would be implemented on the Facebook page, but this is just a generic example. When we are marketing, it is important to follow the ethical and legal aspects. This can be done by following the American Marketing Association Statement of Ethics, the Consumer Protection Statute in Colombia, the International Chamber of Commerce in the Netherlands. And it is very, very important that we have clear disclaimers. We are not discriminating against people. And especially in countries like Colombia and the Netherlands, the marketer identity should be transparent and include contact information in case people have questions or concerns about marketing. Artifact 4 is an implementation, evaluation, and control plan. So I created a little chart to talk about how things are going to be implemented. So the social media platform creation is going to be done by both myself and Jamie, and this will be done by next month, February 2026. The Wix website with blog capabilities will be primarily spearheaded by me with some feedback from Jamie, and this will also be done in February 2026. The email marketing campaign copy and design will be primarily spearheaded by me with feedback by Jamie and done by March 2026. And then the Canva flyer creation will be done by me again by March 2026. I've talked about this before, but when we are implementing our marketing plan, we do need to make sure we are following lots of different organizations, including the American Marketing Association, the Federal Trade Commission, the Can-Spam Act in America, the Consumer Protection Statute in Colombia, and the Dutch Advertising Code in the Netherlands. Once again, we will evaluate success through brand mentions, our email unsubscribe rate, and follower growth rate. As I've mentioned earlier, one of the goals of our communication plan is to increase our follower and brand awareness. So this is one way that we can track that. We will also consider consumer trends, market sales, and our finances. This includes budgeting and spending to analyze the overall effectiveness of our plan. There are some global trends that we do also need to keep in mind for the future, and this again includes sustainability. Consumers are all about sustainability when it comes to the floriculture landscape. Also, bold colors and unexpected shapes are becoming more prevalent for what consumers want out of flowers. And lots of stores are also offering subscription kits. So this gives customers the chance to get flowers on a subscription basis and then also be able to set up their own arrange their own flowers as well and do like more DIY creative stuff. And these last two parts of the portfolio are informed by the first two parts because everything is building off of each other and we are using some of the same information from the previous two artifacts to inform and expand the third and fourth artifacts. Lastly, I would like to end with a reflection. The coursework throughout the Southern New Hampshire University's Master's in Marketing program prepared me for a future in marketing by touching on the different aspects of marketing, so the four P's, and staying up to date with the changing trends and consumer behavior and all of those important aspects that come into being a marketer. My personal goals are to be a social media manager or a marketer, and by concentrating in social media specifically, this helped me focus on the different platforms that are out there because there's new social media platforms coming all the time, and what platforms are more popular for certain age groups, which will help me when I'm trying to target certain demographics. When I was making this portfolio and then also kind of throughout the coursework, the struggle points that I've noticed are things talking about finances, analytics, and math. I do have dyscalculia, which is a learning disability that impacts my ability for problem solving and solving puzzles and math. But so that made learning about finances and trying to come up with formulas and following the formulas very difficult at times. And also analyzing my plans also was a struggle point, but I worked through this by getting tutoring, making sure my research was good research, and also using real life examples to help kind of drive the points home. So I was very resourceful and we figured it out, and now I'm about to graduate, which is exciting. So thank you for listening to my presentation. I've had a lot of fun learning with everybody and putting this project together, and I wish everyone the best of luck in their future.